I got to play a lot of pinball last night. It was like Friday night out on the town in San Diego. Me and my buddy Zach, we hit up a couple locations that have some good games and played a lot of pinball. Then my car died on me. That was not fun. So we're still working on that. Got a good show for you today. It's episode 39 of Coast to Coast Pinball. Let's go. Welcome to Coast Pinball. My name is Nate Shivers. This is a podcast of commentary, and I am a man out of quarters, especially after last night. My buddy Zach and I hit the town. It was Friday night. The girls let us leave and go do our thing, and we played some pinball, and it was fun. We don't have a plethora of fantastic live option, pinball locations in San Diego, but we work with what we've got. So we had a good time. We'll talk about that in a minute. My car did die on me at almost 1 in the morning, which was just awesome for a fairly new car to do that. So been dealing with that today. Good times. This episode, we are going to go through a few different segments like we normally do. And then at the end of the normal stuff, we're going to do a interview with Joel and Dana Reeves, who are coming on the podcast tonight, to promote their Kickstarter programs they're involved with for the Southern Fried Game Room Expo, which will be taking place in Atlanta next June. Very exciting sounding event. Patrick and Preston from over at the Game Room Junkies are kind of spearheading this with Joel and Dana and their buddy Shannon. So we have a really nice interview planned tonight. Talk about that. Talk about their Kickstarter. What's going on? I've been playing a lot. I ordered both the Super Bands and the satellite rings, the new flipper rubbers that we talked about a couple episodes ago, and got them both in. And so far, I will give you a little bit of an update on what I've got. So I've got white Super Bands on Twilight Zone right now. And I specifically went with those first because I didn't see that the mini flipper rubber ring was available from satellite. Saturn rings, from Planetary Pinball. So I went with the Super Bands from Marco Specialties first, and got them on Twilight Zone as soon as I could. And I will report this. They definitely feel different. I feel like I have more control over the ball. They have a bounce that is reminiscent to me of a red rubber, like a new red rubber ring. And I'm using, again, this is white Super Bands. And they're all supposed to be the same. It doesn't matter on the color because these are made of like a polyurethane. And I like them. I wish I hadn't ordered white because white shows every bit of dirt pretty quickly. They were sold out of a lot of colors I wanted to get. And so I just kind of went with white because they're cheap. And I think that's one of the coolest things about these new types of pinball flipper rubbers. Is it's a mod that everybody can afford. Everybody can try these out. I think shipping and everything, I got the whole set, all four for Twilight Zone, shipped to me for less than $13. That's pretty great that you can update your machine with something that may actually change the gameplay. For better or for worse, that's up to you to decide for such little money. I like the soft feel that they have. It's not ultra soft, but it's definitely soft. I like the little bit of extra grip I seem to have on the ball. Now, some purists may think that this isn't what it's supposed to be like, but it feels like, to me, oftentimes I'll be playing my games at home, and then I go out on location. Like when I first played Star Trek on location, I instantly realized that it was new rubber. The rubber felt very new, and I could, do more with the ball. Well, that's what these feel like, and what I think is going to happen is they're going to stay like that for longer. So I think it's a better product on a lot of levels. They do wipe clean very easily. These are non-porous type rings, so they don't, absorb dirt. That's the big pitch here. I'm going to switch to the Saturn rings over the next few days, at least on the main flippers. Actually, I'll probably put the Saturn rings on Judge Dredd, and I'll be able to report back what I think about those. But so far, so good with the Super Bands from Marco Specialties. So check those out. They were kind of a hit at Expo, and I think a lot of people are going to be trying those out. So if you do try them or have tried them, I'd love to hear what you think. So shoot me an email at coast2coastpinball@gmail.com. I'd love to hear that. Let's jump into the Pinside forums, shall we?
Forum static.
So how could myself or any other pinball enthusiast ignore a thread titled "New in Box Big Bang Bar Unboxed tonight with 2 exclamation points. I probably would have put 3 exclamation points. They put 2. So, story goes, pinside poster, Bad Billy 27 from the Chicago area. He posted this 2 weeks ago. Unbelievable. Also 2 exclamation points. I quietly found a new in-box Big Bang bar from a great seller and a stand-up guy. Worked with a few pinheads behind the scenes for advice, he names them, help in personally transporting and moving into my basement and carefully unboxing tonight. What an awesome experience. Got my Grail game. So Big Bang Bar is kind of an interesting one because I think a lot of people would say it's sort of a Grail game, but that's if you've played it, which most people haven't played it because they only made, 14 of them? And then the reproduction that Gene Cunningham ran was originally, I think, going to be 110, but ended up being a little bit more, like in the 170s. 178 is what I wrote down, so I hope that's right. So I've not played one, so I've had at least 2 or 3 emails over the course since I've been doing this show of people asking me to talk about Big Bang Bar because people are interested in it. Well, I've never played one, so I don't know. I've looked at lots of pictures, I've looked at videos, I get the idea, I understand the theme. I don't really love to talk about machines that I haven't played because I think it's one thing to like look at a bunch of stats and videos and other people's opinions, and it's another thing to actually have had your hands on the game and play it some. So I don't feel real comfortable diving into my thoughts on the game. Other than this, it's a very cool looking game. I do like the theme. It's sort of aimed at more of an adult crowd, and it's really rare. This has obviously been something been brought up a lot lately with Planetary Pinball doing the Medieval Madness remake. Could Big Bang Bar be something they remake at some point? Probably not, because I don't think they have the rights. It's a Capcom game. It wasn't Williams, and I think Planetary Pinball Supply will be doing Williams Bally titles, so that's kind of my thought there. Somebody asked me about that. Could it ever get rerun again? Maybe. I know that when Gene Cunningham did this run, I don't think he made any money. I think he actually lost quite a bit of money doing this. I think it proved how hard it is to build a pinball machine. So let's read a little bit more of Bad Billy's post, because it's pretty interesting stuff. He says, amazingly, we set it up and opened the playfield to ensure all cables were seated properly and if it survived well. Because remember, this game, I think the remakes were 2005-6 time frame, so we're talking, 8 years ago, roughly 9 years ago. Flawless. Backbox flawless. Turned it on, everything lit up. Capcom and Gene really knew how to build a game. First game went to my daughter. That's sweet, and that's, I think, if you're a superstitious person, which I'm not, but I like just the tradition of letting the lady in the house have the first game. So, I told my daughters about this game many times, the uniqueness, the rarity, the artwork, the fun. My one daughter asked if she could have the honor of playing the very first game, to be the first on something that meant so much to me, so we remember it. Abso-freaking-lutely, Bad Billy posted. So, very cool. I won't read all the rest of the posts, but if you're interested in this sort of thing, find this post. Bad Billy 27 later linked to a page of tons of photographs of it, and the game's just beautiful. It has this really great sort of spacey kind of, modern feel with these purples and kind of off-green colors. It's just really neat. It's a unique looking game for sure, with a lot of unique toys. The photos of this are awesome. Bad Billy obviously has quite a game room. I mean, you see that as they're unboxing Big Bang Bar in these photographs, it's up against a Safecracker, and there's an AC/DC Premium or Limited Edition, can't tell which, in the background, and then a ton of different games also lined up. So, very jealous of this game room right from the start. Very jealous. It's sitting right next to a beautiful Monster Bash. So this is someone who really has put a lot of money into the hobby, and it might be fun to talk to him and see how much he'll spill the details on how he came across the game and got the game. But a fantastic looking game. He holds the playfield up for you to see underneath it. It just looks like it should. Brand new. It's brand new in a box. Some of the playfield photos are just really neat. You get really high quality up close pictures. You can see the drop targets that are Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto. Since then, Pluto is no longer a planet, FYI. But yeah, just really cool. I thought that was a really neat experience that you should try and share a little bit through photos and through the web. So go check that out. Next up in Forum Static, this is a thread that I've actually been kind of reading a lot, and it's in the Stern subforum, and it says Walking Dead confirmed ... next Stern. Now, you're going to dive into the 272 messages, and you're going to quickly realize that there is nothing confirmed about Walking Dead. It has been rumored that Walking Dead is the next Stern title to be released early next year, and that this could be a John Trudeau design. And John Trudeau, I believe, told someone at Expo on record, that's been repeated a few times now on other podcasts, that I can't tell you the artist working with me on my game, my first game for Stern, because it would give away the theme. So that has led a lot of people to think that maybe they're doing a Walking Dead pinball machine based on the graphic novel, because the artist in the graphic novel is very famous in those circles, and that would clearly give it away to who it would be. So I watched The Walking Dead. Teresa and I love the show. It's been hugely successful. I know the cable debut this season that's going on right now, it was one of the most watched shows in cable history, which is pretty amazing. It's a dark, very dark show. It's about survival in a zombie apocalypse. If zombies actually broke out and took over the world, how would you survive? What lengths would you go through to protect your loved ones and survive? The first season is, on the television show at least, is really well done, where the main character, Rick, is going into Atlanta to try and find out what's happened, because he's awoken from being in like a coma in a hospital to the zombie apocalypse having taken over. And I'm sure, I have not read the graphic novels, but I'm sure that there's a lot of storylines that follow each other. It's dark. It's rough. There's not a lot of like ha-ha funny stuff going on in The Walking Dead. So it'll be interesting to see if Stern does, and I believe they're going to, do a Walking Dead pinball machine, because I think there's a clamoring for zombies right now. And I think there's a clamoring for sort of a serious kind of theme on some sort. It'll be interesting to see what the direction they take with the theming of the game. Is it going to be blood and guts and gore and death? And because there's some rough stuff that happens in this story. Like, the main character's wife gives birth and then is eaten by a zombie. There's some pretty rough. Sorry, spoiler alert. But that's not this season, so I don't feel bad. I'm interested to see it. I think it would be cool. I think that it would definitely... So put it on location. You get The Walking Dead out on location. I think when you have a television show that is so widely watched by both men and women, it could draw people to the game to put their dollars in it, put their quarters in it. Get people interested in pinball. It was very interesting playing pinball last night. My friend Zach and I were at a place in San Diego called the High Dive, and Zach had not played Metallica or Star Trek yet, so that's why I took him there. And we were playing Metallica, loving it. Zach was just absolutely in love with this game. We were playing a Metallica Premium, and there was a Tron Pro next to it, and this couple, probably our age, mid-30s, nicely dressed, good-looking couple, they walked over behind us and started to play Tron, and the guy was really into it. You could tell he was excited to play pinball, but clearly hadn't played a lot of pinball lately. And his girlfriend or wife or whatever was very intrigued and like, oh, this is pretty, this is fun, this is great. And then they started watching me and Zach, and especially Zach, because Zach's a very good player, better than I am. And they were just really into it, and I could hear her comments where she was talking about how she would rather have a Tron or a Star Trek than a Metallica if they were going to buy one for the home. She didn't really want this Metallica machine with all this crazy, gory, kind of gory, not really gory, kind of rough artwork on it. Sort of a, I don't even know what you call that Dirty Donnie style of artwork. But she was saying that she'd want something not quite so, rock and roll. And I think that might be an issue with The Walking Dead for some, depending on where they go with the art. Some people might not want that in their house, but on location, I think it'll draw people in. I think that's the kind of theme that they're catching it right on the edge. Star Trek, it's kind of timeless and classic, and there's new movies and whatnot, but it's sort of it's not cutting edge at all. Even though there's a new movie out and it's big, it's really. It's kind of old hat in a way. We've all seen Star Trek promotional stuff. We've seen Star Trek pinball games. I think Metallica grabs a certain demographic. My demographic, folks that grew up listening to Metallica, just really jumped on that. That's why there's a lot of buzz on that one. I think The Walking Dead is really, really current, because that's a show that's just hitting its really high point as far as ratings and storyline. And even if they go graphic novel, it'll still be close enough that it'll pull people in who are into the show now. So I think that's a really great idea. Stern has sort of some of the themes, they tend to not be like right on top of it. The Simpsons Pinball Party came out at a time where The Simpsons have been on for a long time, and I don't think that a lot of people ran across a room to go see something just because it had The Simpsons on it. Probably same with Family Guy, and then, I don't know. Just my thoughts. So, you can read through that thread. It goes round and round, people saying, terrible theme, great theme, this and that. I thought it was pretty funny on page, I think, 6 of the thread. Somebody posted a photo from Season 2, Episode 8 of the Walking Dead series on AMC, and in the background behind Rick, there is a Stern World Poker Tour pinball machine. They're in like I don't know if it's a bar or some sort of business in one of the towns, like a saloon maybe. And there's a World Poker Tour pinball machine off in the background. You can kind of see, I thought that was a pretty neat little ode to pinball in there. So that's a neat thread. So go check that one out.
Trip reports.
So, trip report to what we did last night. We started out, Zach and I, headed out to a place called the Kearney Mesa Bowl. It's a bowling alley. That's what we're dealing with here in San Diego. And I was excited because they've had a Monster Bash there for a long time, which I've talked about in the podcast before. And we just had Halloween. I was thinking, I'm going to go play some Monster Bash. Well, it's gone. And I think I know where it is because I saw that a Monster Bash popped up at a pizza parlor recently, a little bit north of us. And I thought, wow, it's amazing. There's 2 Monster Bashes in San Diego en route. I think it's probably the same one. I think the operator guy moved it over there. So, here is the current lineup at the Kearney Mesa Bowl for any of you who might be in San Diego. They have a Shrek, which I had never played before. I had played a Family Guy, but never a Shrek. So that was interesting. They have a Hurricane. And Hurricane's the sequel to Cyclone, obviously, and that was a pretty decent example of Hurricane in there. Then they have a Big Buck Hunter Pro, another Stern game I'd never played. I just never run into one before. And then finally they had a Gottlieb Teed Off, the other golf game inspired by Caddyshack. So I got there first, and I immediately went to Teed Off. There's somebody playing Shrek. And I'm not a huge Hurricane fan, not really my favorite game, but I went and started playing Teed Off. And the Teed Off game was in sort of rough shape. I wish it had been in a little bit better shape. The right flipper had a little bit of stick to it here and there. The playfield was dirty, and it was okay. I played it quite a bit. I had fun with it. I mean, I certainly like playing any pinball machine. I like golf as a theme. It was okay. I don't know that game super well, so I was kind of finding my way as I went. That game has a shot up the middle where you're trying. It's called the hole-in-one shot. It's right to the left of some drop targets. But boy, if you miss that and you hit those drop targets right, you're just draining straight down the middle. So that's rough. I'll probably go through that game and No Good Gophers together someday in a podcast. I need to do a golf-themed podcast. It was all right, is what I'll say about my time on Teed Off last night. Played a little bit of Big Buck Hunter Pro. I think that Big Buck Hunter Pro is actually a fairly well put together pinball machine. I think it has a lot going for it. The right side of the playfield is awfully crowded, and some of the shots just look like impossible to get to because it feels like you need to do like a slalom around some of the stuff. The integration of a moving rubber, deer that you're hunting is done fairly well. I think it has 5 or 6 little spots it can stop. It's on a diagonal track across the playfield from the mid-right side of the playfield to the lower left. Pretty good. This is something I've read about before about this game, is that sometimes the deer doesn't register hits from the ball as well as it did when it was brand new, and that was definitely the case in this one last night. I would get solid direct hits, and it wasn't registering it. It was like 1 out of every 3 hits would register. Good game. I hate the theme. I'm not a hunter. Not really. It's just not my scene. I don't really, relate to that at all. But I think you could retheme Big Buck Hunter Pro and probably have a decent game out of it. Although it definitely feels like like last year's Stern games. It's kind of the Rolling Stones vibe to me. It doesn't really resemble Metallica, Star Trek on any level. So I think that we're probably past that. It's not bad though. It's okay. Plays pretty quick. Hurricane, I mean, I think a lot can be said about Hurricane and Cyclone. I like Hurricane better than Cyclone. I don't know. It's like a 3-shot game to me. You're trying to hit the hurricane ramp up the middle, the left orbit, and then there's another left shot kind of left of the ramp. Those 3 shots are the main, and I guess there's one right, so it's really a 4-shot game. There's some banks of targets on the sides. You know, the trick on this game is it has a rotating toy giant like spinner thing in the back box, and when you hit the shot to the left of the ramp, as my dog barks and interrupts the podcast, the wheel spins and then coincides with a graphic on the DMD, which kind of spins across different awards that you can get. So that's kind of, it's definitely that era Williams. It's an early DMD game for Williams. Not a bad game. It'd be a really good like first game for the home if you could get one. That's the type of game that people ask me like, what should be my first game? Hurricane pops to mind. You know, when you shoot the ball, it travels all the way around the top on a plastic clear, trail, and then actually I think it starts out wire form now that I think about it, but it transitions to like a clear plastic trail, and then it comes all the way down around the bottom, loops around you up to the right, and then back to another wire form down into the left in lane. And that it kind of threw me for a loop. Literally, get it? A loop. The first time I saw it, because I'd forgotten that that's what it did, and I kind of had to adjust to that every time I shot a ball through it. And the problem with this layout, it's very cool, it's innovative. We've seen it on some other games where the ball can actually go down below the flippers and around, but this kind of goes right above the flippers in a way, and it gets in the way. It throws me off visually when I'm playing the game. I don't like that ramp, and not really a ramp, that plastic trail being right there. It feels a little, I don't know, obstructive to me is the best I could say. It has some issues. There's the little like Ferris wheel toys in the back left of the back box. The ball on the game kept getting stuck in one of those last night, so I tilted a couple times trying to get it loosened out. So, but Zach and I, once he got there, we played a lot of Shrek. We kind of dove into Shrek and put quite a few dollars into Shrek and played 2-player games. And I ran up some pretty good scores on that game. I hadn't played it very much. I think I might have played Family Guy once. Which I know they're identical layouts, just with different themes. The big toy on this one is the mini pinball game that's up on the upper right-hand side, where you get that going and you play this little tiny ball on this little miniature game with real flippers and real little target trails. Kind of gimmicky. You know, you do it once or twice and then you're kind of done with it. Some decent shots. I actually really like one of the left shots. It like loops back farther to the left and then down a wire form back to the left flipper. It's one of those you could just hit the left flipper over and over type shots. It's kind of interesting. There's a Merlin, target way in the back. That's kind of like a mystery, randomized prize target way in the back. That's a decent shot to get to. The lower right side has some it has a scoop shot, and then it has also a right orbit shot that are sort of, close and can be risk reward. You need those shots for certain things, but you can also, post yourself and be shot right back down at you. This is a Pat Lawler design, and it feels like a Pat Lawler design. It's in a lot of ways somewhat, if you took some parts of Addams Family, some parts of Twilight Zone, simplified it out a little bit, and you could sort of see that it's just classic Pat Lawler. So anyway, we had a good time, and then we moved over to the High Dive, and that's where Zach fell in love with Metallica last night. He ran up, I think, 90 million on Metallica, which I've never scored that high in that game. I was up in the 50s a couple times last night, but he loved Metallica, everything about it. Spent some time on Star Trek. Star Trek's just gonna be better when the code gets there. The captain's chair challenge thing just doesn't seem to be working on this one. We would get 3 things completed, start another mission, and it wouldn't give you the option. So unless I'm missing something on Star Trek, that's a problem. I've been starting to think about buying a new in-box Stern and either buying a Metallica Pro or maybe a Star Trek Pro. And I had started thinking to myself, I want a Steve Ritchie game. I want fast. I want to buy a Star Trek. I want the flow. I want the pretty lights, the whole thing. And then we played so much Metallica last night, and it was so fun, and I saw how into it Zach was. I thought, well, maybe this is the game I need to have, because I like the theme better. I like Metallica as a theme better. But we played Star Trek again, and I don't know. I don't know what to say. I like them both. I want them both. At least I'm going to spend some more time playing them both. So get out there and find those games on location, play them. I was listening to the Spooky Pinball podcast last night, and over the last couple of days I've listened to Game Room Junkie's latest episode and Spooky Pinball podcast. And one thing that I thought was interesting is that Charlie on Spooky said he was talking to Greg Fresh at Expo, and Greg said that Steve basically told him, don't clutter up this playfield with a ton of art. So Greg really went minimalistic at Steve's request, which sort of explains the artwork or lack thereof artwork. And I think the quote was, Steve wanted the player to look like he was staring out at space. So I think it looks good. I think the DMD animations are great. I think the Vengeance toy is very cool, the way it works. I'm still real excited to see the limited edition coming out. But another great night playing some Star Trek, so I hope everyone listening has gotten a chance to go out and find one, or play one, or look for one soon if you haven't yet. So, good times. All right, I would like to welcome tonight to Coast Pinball Joel and Dana, who are here to help us promote, announce, and kick off the Kickstarter campaign for the Southern Fried Game Room Expo happening next summer in Atlanta, Georgia. How are you guys? What's going on tonight?
Doing great.
Great, thanks.
Thanks for coming on. Joel, you were on the program a few weeks ago. We did some call-in programs, and I kind of met you there, and then we've been emailing back and forth. And so now there is a Kickstarter in place for the Southern Fried Game Room Expo, which I found out first from the Game Room Junkies podcast. I think Preston and Patrick are sort of two of the folks spearheading this, and now I find out along with Joel and Dana. Is that correct?
You got it.
Yes, and one more person, Shannon DeWitt.
Shannon DeWitt. So you guys are the five. So give me a little bit of history on the origins of pulling off, as you guys call it, Atlanta's own Southern Fried Game Room Expo.
Dana and I were planning on going up to the Louisville Expo, and we were like getting a little excited about it, and turned out to be a great show. But we were thinking over some chicken wings and some beer at a local restaurant, how come they can have one, but Atlanta can't have one? How come? Why is that? Atlanta's a big town. We've got lots of people, lots of collectors, thriving pinball home collector scene and pinball league. So we, after we got back from the show, and Louisville was a great show, we contacted a couple of friends, Patrick and Preston, Game Room Junkies guys, and our friend Shannon, and they kind of shared the vision. So we started putting the thing together. It was about February, I think.
It's February. So let me ask you this. Is it daunting, the idea of getting a space, putting together a presentation, having the games come in, and doing it all basically five people who, I'm guessing you don't have a lot of experience running big events like this?
It's a huge task.
Yeah, it is.
It's a big task.
Shannon and I both have some experience with events like this from our day jobs, if you will, and in our careers. So we kind of knew kind of how to put the framework together. But still, I mean, when you sign that contract, that was I think the eye opener was when we got the contract from the hotel and conference center. We all kind of read it and we're like, gulp. This is a huge commitment.
This is real. We're
this
on the hook
is real.
now.
We're on the hook for this. So we have to do whatever it takes to make it happen.
So that's a great place to start. Let's kind of run down the event itself. Where is it being held? It's at a Marriott property, correct?
The Marriott Century Center here in Atlanta.
In Atlanta? Now, is that relative to downtown Atlanta? Is that sort of in the center of the city, or?
It's on the northeast side. 285 is like our belt loop around the city. It's really easy to access.
Yeah,
and
it's just north. It's kind of a little bit north of Buckhead, and but it's still inside the perimeter. But we don't have the expensive in-town prices.
Sure. What kind of space do you guys have for the actual event? What are we looking at?
We've got 2 ballrooms. One's 5,000, one's 3,500 square feet. And we have an amphitheater kind of learning center with a projection screen and tiered seating where we're going to have our speakers and guests.
Excellent. What kind of schedule do you guys have so far as speakers and guests? I know you have some really fun names listed so far.
First guy we went to was Billy Mitchell, the gamer of the century.
Yes, the king of the Kong, as he might be.
And he's from Florida, so we thought maybe he'd make a short ride up to come and talk to us. And then Preston is a huge fan, as I am, of Barry Ausler and all of his pinball designs, all of his BSD and Space Shuttle and Doctor Who and Pinbot, all those great games.
You don't have to tell me twice. Me too. I'm a huge fan.
It was funny. A few weeks ago, you mentioned listening to John Trudeau's Topcast.
Yes, yeah, it's a great one.
I've listened to that a couple times, and the second time wasn't too long after we started planning all this, and I'm like, John Trudeau has to come. He's amazing. He's got a great personality. He's got a great attitude. He loves pinball, and he's got a new game launching next spring with Stern. So
he'll have a game out by the time he gets to the show. That's a great timing, I think, on that.
Yeah,
yes.
I thought it was perfect, and we were really lucky to have him.
So are you ready to spill the beans? Is it The Walking Dead?
I have no information on that subject.
Same speculation as everyone else.
I would love it to be The Walking Dead, but I have no information.
Interesting. Now, also, I think that kind of the wild card here is Jerry Buckner. Explain the hows, the whys, and the thought process between for having Jerry Buckner at the show.
Well, if I remember correctly, Preston has a connection to him, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he's here in Atlanta.
Yep, they recorded Pac-Man Fever.
Yeah, they recorded Pac-Man Fever, and as he did as part of Buckner and Garcia. So it was
a top 10 hit.
Yeah, it was.
It was big.
So Preston just he really is a big fan of his, and he said, you know what, I'm just going to take him out to dinner and talk to him and see what he thinks. And so they hit it off really well, and Jerry said, yeah, absolutely, I'll come and speak. And I don't know that we've talked him into doing a performance yet, but
we're trying to wrangle him into doing something.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens.
Gotcha. Okay, so have you guys been to the Chicago Expo show before?
Oh,
not yet.
No.
Not yet.
I was dying reading all the coverage.
Yeah, me too.
This year.
So I guess my next question to sort of like set you guys up for this is, what's going to be different about the Southern Fried Game Room Expo versus, say, Expo in Chicago, or the big Texas show, or California Extreme or something like that? What do you guys think will be the personality of this show?
I think it's going to be more of a laid back Southern kind of relaxed show, like no high pressure, no, keep it polite, keep everybody happy. I want to see smiling faces. I'm not going to rest until everybody there's having fun. I don't know. What do you think?
Well, I think we're gearing it a lot towards families. I mean, we are having it in the summer. There's no other events right around ours, is there?
There's nothing really big, I don't think, around here in June.
So there's a lot of stuff in Atlanta to do during the summertime. So we're kind of, trying to come up with some ideas for the younger set as well. And just the idea of introducing the younger kids to, what we grew up with. And letting them see it and have fun with it.
Yeah,
and
the goal is to really share it with the whole family and keep pinball and keep classic arcade games in the mind of like everybody that we can come in contact with.
Interesting. Very cool. I like it. So I know there's also going to be a Papa-sponsored tournament. Has there any details come out on that yet?
We are the June stop on the Papa circuit.
Any chance they're going to stream that one live? I know they're starting to stream some of them live.
From what I understand, everything from here on out will all be streamed live.
Nice. Very good.
So another guy who's in Atlanta Pinball League with the five of us, Brian Broyles, he's actually the tournament director. He volunteered for that spot, and we embraced it fully because he's done some tournaments here locally, and done a really good job with them. So we knew he was the right guy to kind of spearhead that, and he's got some good connections with Papa as well. So
he's going to run it. Papa's been like 12 or 15 games down, and we're really excited about the competition.
Do we have a price of admission yet for the weekend or per day? Do you guys have that hammered out?
Early admission, you can get a 3-day pass for $35 right now.
Good. And you guys are doing a bring a game, get in free type of thing, or?
Bring one game and you get, what is it, half price?
Half price.
Half price.
Shannon's going to kick us for not remembering this off the top of our head.
Bring 2 games and you get a weekend pass.
Weekend pass, yeah.
Excellent, excellent. Tell me about this VIP party that I'm seeing listed in various spots.
That is going to be very exclusive. FaceTime with the special guests, and we're not done with the special guests, by the way. We have some other people that we're working on, and a lot of it is dependent on the Kickstarter as well. But
you can break some news here. Come on, I know you're I know you're friends with the Game Room Junkies, but it's Coast2Coast Pinball. Let's drop some news. No.
Well, we don't have anything confirmed yet, but there's some stuff in the works.
I can deal in rumor and hearsay. I'm okay with that.
Well,
no, I'm not. I'm just kidding.
I have someone on my wish list, but I don't know if he's available that weekend.
Yeah, there are some more surprises yet to come.
Interesting. Very cool.
Yeah.
Hopefully, if we meet our goal with Kickstarter, we'll be able to have stretch goals.
Yeah.
And add some more exciting stuff.
All right, let's talk about.
And the goal.
No, go
ahead.
The goal
of Kickstarter too is to. I mean, we've all 5 of us have skin in the game. We've invested, our own money as well, and so this is happening regardless of what happens with the Kickstarter. But we want to make it the best debut event in Atlanta possible. Plus, guaranteed that we can bring it back year after year. So it's to make this one, the first one, the best possible event that we can put on, but also invest in future events.
We're in this for the long game.
Yeah, this isn't just a one-off thing.
No, we want it to be something people remember and talk about and want to come back, tell all their friends they got to come. We're really excited about making this a special event.
That's good.
We want Atlanta to be known for this as well as Dragon Con.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Is there going to be a crossover audience? Should I be warning people? No, I'm just kidding. I kid. So the Kickstarter, I will proudly pronounce myself. I was the 5th backer on the Kickstarter. I was the 5th person to back.
Very about that. Thank you.
I want the poster. I want Preston's Pinbot minimalist poster. I have been coveting that, and now there was a way for me to get there, and $75 was a deal in my mind. Plus, I get into the show free, and I am planning my best. I want to be there. Teresa and I are sort of already looking at summertime schedules, so we're going to try and make it out. It'll be great. I really am going to make this happen, I think. So right now we're looking, you have 32 days to go as of recording. By the time this airs, it'll probably be 30 days to go, so we're about a month left on the Kickstarter. You already have 22 backers backing $1,686 of a $4,000 goal. I think it's a slam dunk. I think you guys will get there no problem. Hopefully some of the stretch goals. You're offering cool stuff. It's the neat part of Kickstarter, because even for folks who maybe can't get there are reasons to back this. Just to help the pinball community, get some cool swag, some collectible stuff. So that's really, really cool. Let's see. Is there anything else you guys would like to talk about here on the Game Room Expo, the Southern Fried Game Room Expo?
Well, I think the whole reason we're putting it on in the first place is because we're all enthusiastic about the hobby, the collecting side of it and the playing side of it. So we love the games, and we have competitive streaks in us as well, and we want to share it. I mean, there's the Atlanta Pinball League. We get together once a month at someone's home, and and there's some fantastic collections here in Atlanta. It's just amazing, some of the game rooms, and it's we look forward to that. That is like, yes, it's league night.
There's a real sense of community that's come out of Pinball League that I didn't know was going to happen, and it's awesome, and I want to expand that to like the whole South.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, Atlanta is not really known for location pinball.
Unfortunately, no. You are correct. It is not.
It's very sad.
Yes.
So, what's the biggest spot on location? Are we talking like 4, 5, 6 games, or is there anywhere that has a dozen games or more?
No,
not publicly.
We have a Joystick Game Bar, which is a place we've been going
in
to
town,
recently.
Yeah,
they've got
fantastic.
A couple games, and they've got like 10 or 12 classic arcades, like your Street Fighters and your
and a couple
Mortal
pinballs.
Kombats and Donkey Kong, and a couple pinball machines. But really, besides that, not a whole lot.
Interesting.
We drive to, I'll confess, we drive to Birmingham to Bumper Nets when we want to play at an arcade publicly.
I think somebody talked about Bumper Nets on your show.
They did. Yeah. How long of a drive is that from Atlanta?
2.5, 3 hours.
Wow, you're hardcore. I love it.
We went over there when Star Trek came out. I had to play it.
And what did you think?
Loved it. I think it's great.
I like it too. I do too. I do too. So this is Coast2Coast Pinball. We talk pinball. I will concede that there is another half to the Game Room Expo here. What percentage do we think arcade versus pinball do we expect to see at the Southern Fried Game Room Expo?
I'm laughing because I just turned around and looked in our arcade, and we have 8 arcade games here, and I mean we're planning on bringing all of our games, and we have 5 pinball machines. So
we're shooting for a 50-50 and at least 100 games total. I would love to have 150.
There's going to be more than 100.
I don't know
if
that's going to happen, but we're going to have at least 100.
I have a feeling you're going to get well over 100 just based on what I've been hearing.
We love the video games, but our passion recently has been more on the pinball side.
Yeah,
we have to admit that.
I feel that is the trend. I think that's happening. Well, Joel and Dana, I really enjoyed having you guys on. Thank you for coming to Coast2Coast Pinball to chat up the Southern Fried Game Room Expo, which will be taking place June 20th, 21st, and 22nd in Atlanta, Georgia. They call it Hotlanta. I won't ever say that term again, I promise.
We thank you.
It'll be warm next June, that's for sure.
Please turn the humidity down a little bit when we get there. We'll
put that request in for you.
We're only 232 days away.
That's it.
Wow. All right. Thank you guys very much.
Thanks.
It was really great having Joel and Dana come on the show. Appreciate it. I wish them all the best of luck with the Southern Fried Game Room Expo. We recorded that a couple nights ago, so I wanted to give everyone a little up-to-date Saturday late afternoon Kickstarter update for them. Currently, 29 backers have pledged $2,066 of their $4,000 goal. I think they will make it. I think that will be no problem. So definitely go check that out. Listen to the Game Room Junkies podcast. Find them. Listen to Spooky Pinball podcast. Listen to the Pinball podcast, Pinball Soul. It's a big happy family, right? Good times. All right. We've come to the end. It was quick. It just flew by for me today. So I want to thank everybody for listening. If you'd like to email me, coast2coastpinball@gmail.com is how you would do so. Please like us on Facebook, facebook.com/coast2coastpinball.com, and that's the number 2 between the words coast and coast. On Twitter, we're at C2C Pinball. And, of course, our website, where all the podcasts, all of our little photos for the podcasts, and my very minimal blog is hosted at www.coast2coastpinball.com. We will hit the mailbag next episode for sure. I've got lots of emails we can go through and answer those. Until then, have a great rest of your weekend. I'll talk to you soon. Thanks.
Hey, I can fly!
He can fly!
He can fly!
He can talk.
That's right, fool. Now I'm a flying, talking donkey. You might have seen a house fly, maybe even a super fly, but I bet you ain't never seen a donkey fly.
Bullseye!
In 1986, Williams released one of its most popular pinball machines, the Comet. Comet was such a success that players and operators demanded another game based on the same theme. So 2 years later, Williams responded with a machine that was even more profitable, the Cyclone. operators now have a chance to boost their earnings with a brand new game, one that offers new attractions, strong collections, and that same timeless amusement park theme. Now, from the designer of both Comet and Cyclone, comes the indispensable capstone to the roller coaster series, the Hurricane.